Hang the DJ is an episode written by Charlie Brooker, doing what he does best, mixing technology that can happen in the very near future and dealing with relationships. In this case, we have a system in this dystopian world where people are matched with their romantic partners through an AI computer system. They meet at a restaurant, and then they each have a device known as a coach. That's a round object that they tap and see how long they will be in a romantic relationship together. It could be 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 month, 1 week, 16 hours. They have no idea. And they both have to hit this coach together. And it tells them in unison how long they're going to be not only dating, but in a relationship.
On 3, go. 12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours.
See, this system is set up to pair you with the ideal romantic partner. It's like an arranged marriage, except for instead of having your parents do it, it's some supposedly sophisticated data system in this authoritarian government, and each person just has to abide by this, or else something bad happens. So our two main characters are Frank and Amy, and they hit it off immediately. But their relationship only lasts 12 hours. They meet at dinner, share a few laughs, then they're taken in this funny looking car to a makeshift tiny house where they can spend some time together. Seems like this system wants the characters to have sex, to really work out the kinks, to see if they're compatible with each other. And as you can imagine, this is a pretty awkward situation if you don't like the person. Frank and Amy also seem to connect on a real emotional level. You figure when you see a scene in a movie, this happens in real life too, of course, but they speed it up. When you go on a first date, you go, "Hi, so what do you do for work? What do you like to do for fun?" Basic stuff. But they don't do that in this episode, and we see at the end why. But Charlie Brooker is also saying and making the point that there are some people you just connect with and you don't understand why. Why is it easy to have a conversation with this person when their interests are opposite of yours? Then you have this other person who has the exact same interests as you, and you don't connect with them at all. You say something, they interrupt you, it gets awkward. So their conversations is more them joking with each other, flirting, than actually giving a backstory on who each of them are.
Come to mention it, you do look terrified.
Do I?
Yeah, you're quaking with fear.
Are you shaking with revulsion?
You were nice.
So are you.
And we see this in the next relationship that Frank and Amy has. So they have this 16-hour relationship. It goes really well, but they have to say farewells. And Frank then gets partnered with a girl that absolutely hates him. And Amy gets partnered with an absolute Giga Chad. She likes him a lot. Frank is with his girl, Nicola. They try to sleep together. It goes really poorly. They then pair this with Amy being paired with this in-shape, good-looking guy, Lenny. And they actually have great sex. But both of them are going to be stuck with these people for like a year. And it's a realistic look at relationships. Frank and Nikolai just don't relate to each other. They don't like each other's personalities or each other's sense of humor. But there's nothing really big that happens between them. They simply don't get along, which is exactly what would happen if you have this AI system trying to pair people. Also, it seems like it's not trying to pair people that you would have a lot of things in common with. It's trying to pair you with people you're going to hate, people you're going to love. This is obviously a poorly put together system, and as the episode goes on, we see they're in an authoritarian government, or maybe in a dream world, and that this system is actually not trying to help people in any way, shape, or form. It's there to mess with you and drive you nuts until you just submit to the person that they finally pair you up with at the end. Frank and Amy even run into each other at a wedding. And while you know that they are meant for each other, at this point, Amy is having a great time with Lenny. Frank is not having a good time with Nicola, so he tries a lot harder to get back with Amy than she does to get back with him. And I like the fact that the next relationship both of these people had was completely different. Rather than just giving them both relationships afterwards that were terrible and they realize that they love each other, Charlie Brooker is, of course, not only trying to keep you interested, like, are they going to get together? Aren't they going to get together? But also, once again, just showing there's going to be different dynamics. And this whole idea that there's only one person out there for you. A lot of girls say that, but let's be real. There's probably more than one. Character Frank is played by Joe Cole, played the character John Shelby in the British Prohibition era show about gangs, Peaky Blinders. I've seen half the episodes, but there's only 36 in total, and the series has concluded, so maybe it's time to watch the rest. He was also in A Prayer Before Dawn. I think he's supposed to be the everyman in this episode. There's a huge juxtaposition when he meets Amy's new boyfriend, Lenny, who's much better looking and confident than he is. But the standout thing for this episode is the story. I think both of the lead actors do a decent job, but no one's a real standout. In fact, my favorite character is probably Nicola, just because she hates Frank so much. And the character Amy is played by Georgina Campbell, who was in Bird Box Barcelona as Claire, and Barbarian as Tess. She is also representing the average girl. They show in this episode that the relationship between her and Lenny ends after a year. The system starts setting her on a course of just one-night stands. They don't 100% have to sleep together. All the pressure is there for them to do it. They literally put them in this bungalow every single time. The guy's going to pressure her. It's just a bad situation. So she ends up giving in to these one-night stands, and it becomes very unsatisfying. And you can see how the system is just trying to really break them down. Like, you're going to go on a date with this guy for 12 hours. We're then going to send you in a car. You're going to be in this hotel room alone with him for the next 10 hours. Then I'm going to have you do the same thing again tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. And this is a great time for me to talk about the ending. Well, a great time for me to not 100% explain the ending, because it really is up in the air. Frank and Amy finally get back together. They're about to be matched up with their soulmate. But of course, this computer algorithm won't tell them who their soulmate is. So they decide that they're actually in a simulation. A lot of things around them seem very fake and set up. And it seems like this does happen to be true. The name of this episode is Hang the DJ, which is a song you hear right at the very end. So it has very little to do with this episode. And this is one of the lighter Black Mirror episodes, similar to something like Nosedive. San Junipero. I think San Junipero is a better episode than this one. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, but this one is really great as well. Another one where two characters fall in love and they're in a simulation, but that one I think had a much more interesting setting where you saw them go through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, saw their styles change, and then got to see them in their real lives. Here it's a lot more up in the air. They don't really flesh out what type of simulation this really is. You only see a few locations. You see the bungalow, you see the small little smart cars. You never really see an overview of what this place looks like. And then most of the episode it takes place in the restaurant where they're talking to each other. So the budget is quite a bit down from something like San Junipero, and it's focusing on the story, not visuals. But it's absolutely a great episode. The characters end up being correct that this is a simulation. It's completely open for discussion exactly what the simulation is, and it does seem like they get to live together in a nice, happy world. Hang the DJ is great. I think season 4 has been the weakest so far, but this is a bright spot. Hang the DJ, taken from a chorus of the song Panic by the Smiths, is a great relationship-based drama. And it's only 51 minutes too, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome. Next time we get an even shorter episode, 41 minutes, Metalhead, one I have seen before and I absolutely love it. But some people hate it, and we'll try to see why. But that one is absolutely action-packed. So stay tuned for that. Our journey to review every single episode of Black Mirror. And we also review every single episode of Twilight Zone, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Monsters, Fear Itself. Thank you, and have a good day.